Hello, this is mathjazz from Almost Cool. I'm here with a mathemagician,
Hello.
and we are working on the Taj Mahal. And we're working on the west wall of the complex right now. We have, of course, the main Taj Mahal is finished. It's just a little bit out of rendering distance. It looks gorgeous, and have the mosque, and over there is the guest house. We're going to finish this wall and then go over and do the wall on the other side, and then we'll start working on the main gate. So I'm supposing we need a lot of brown hardened clay.
Yeah, I'm making a bunch right now in that chest.
Okay,
So
I'll pick a bunch up.
I think that'll take care of us for a little bit at least.
And then probably some white hardened clay as well.
Yeah. And at some point, we're going to need to go chop down some oak trees to make more fences.
I can do that.
Okay. But I think that is the last of it in terms of supplies that we need for this part. We have everything else, I think.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we got together to record, and in that time I've had 2 trips to the East Coast of the United States for research conferences, and they were both really enjoyable. Let's see. Well, I found out that Spirit Airlines is really unreliable on the second trip because they delayed the first flight I was on, and then they canceled the second flight I was on, and I was almost stranded in Pennsylvania. I
Would have
was
been problematic.
I was telling the mathematician about my woes. I ended up having to sleep in the terminal at the airport in Pennsylvania because it was too late to get a new flight. But my new flight the next day, so it was too late in the day to get a flight leaving the same day. But the flight that I had got to replace the one that was canceled was too early in the morning for me to justify leaving the airport. So I didn't leave the airport. And I slept on a bench in Terminal D. Wasn't so bad.
And it sounds like they had decent Wi-Fi at the airport, is it?
Yeah, most airports have pretty good Wi-Fi now. Not all airlines do, but at least the airports do. I'm just going to chop down all of these trees on the northeast side for our oak.
Okay.
So, tomorrow I will be flying from the city where my parents live back to the university where the mathematician and I go to school. And it'll be, I guess, the first time we've seen each other in person in like a month.
is true.
A long time. There's a research conference that's starting the day after my flight at our university, and I will be presenting a talk on my research, and though I tried as hard as I could not convince the mathemagician to do a research talk. It was a sad experience, because he has some really interesting research going on right now, and I don't know how much of it you're allowed to talk about because of the deal with Sandia, but I have been really excited, and maybe when you're done with it and you're allowed to talk about it, you can explain to our viewers the cool and important work that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the specifics, but the bigger overarching idea is fine, which is topology is the best thing ever, and everybody should just learn topology. And this whole project is just a really cleverly disguised way to teach a bunch of geologists why topology is the best type of math.
Well,
And
I mean,
in that regards, I'm
for this
succeeding.
particular application, certainly differential equations are very important to geologists, particularly differential equations that correspond to fluid flow, if you're trying to track, the flow of oil.
True, but the main geologist that I'm working with, his goal when we talk is to find a way to supplant the need for differential equations by using this topology concept to characterize things better. Because the idea is if we could figure out a better idea of how to compare rock samples, then we would no longer need to run additional differential equations on new rock samples. We could just go, oh well, this rock sample is the following linear combination or whatever combination of rock samples that we've already figured out. So that's his goal, and that's my goal too.
That does sound pretty cool.
Oh,
I hadn't heard about the linear combination of rock samples thing yet.
Well, that one is our advisor's statement of his goal. I am not sure how you would. I do not see yet what the method for combining rock samples should be, and therefore I don't state that as my goal so much as I'll be happy if we can characterize them. but that is why I haven't mentioned it before, because this is the advisor's idea.
It is our advisor's idea. Okay. However, I do not think that linear combination would be the right tool for this, because we have plenty of examples of materials that have certain properties separately, but when mixed together have completely different properties.
Yes. Yep.
So, like,
and that's
alloys are that's the whole point of an alloy, is that I have these two metals that they're soft or brittle or whatever they are alone, but when I mix them they become very tough and durable or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if there's any sort of metallurgist listening, that I've just offended them, but by totally misunderstanding what's going on. But linear combinations of things typically mean that when you mix two things together, you end up with something that's kind of in between them. And the point of an alloy, I think, is an alloy, a metal alloy, is that you get properties that are not mixtures of the original properties. You start off with two things that are weak, and you mix them and they're strong. It's not you start off with two things that are weak and you end up with something that's weak kind of in the middle of them.
Yeah, and that's why you you are sufficiently familiar with our advisor to see why he would make such a claim offhand, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a bright guy, and he he makes lots of guesses about things, and then works to see if they're true or false guesses.
Yeah,
And because he makes so many guesses, he's right on a lot of guesses, even if he's not right on necessarily a majority of those guesses.
yeah.
Uh,
The other thing that gives him some chance of being right, though, is that the thing we would attempt to define this operation on would be the barcodes of the samples, um, and that feels like there's a chance that it should be combinable. Um, but then the point would be that perhaps barcodes just don't encode certain information that isn't combinable.
um, I have a question, or a request, actually.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a shulker box that you could bring here?
I do. Where are you?
Wonderful. I am chopping down trees, and I just ran out of inventory space.
Okay. Let me get down from the build site. Oh, let's see.
I think I chopped down all the trees. I mean, either a shulker box or just, empty inventory space. Whatever.
Yeah, I have 4 shoulder boxes on me. Now you are at the tree farm that is the north east corner.
That's correct.
Oh, I see you. Okay. Oh,
What?
well, I had them in my inventory at one point.
Do you have
Apparently,
any empty space, though?
yeah, I have empty space, so I'm just running around and picking stuff up.
Okay. I don't have my flint and steel to torch the tops of these trees, so I'll have to go get it.
Um, not.
What?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The really tall trees that have wood out of reach that'll keep the
Yeah. Here,
the
would you
leaves
like this
spawned.
horse, or have you already taken off?
I have not taken off. I was chopping down pieces of wood that I found. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll take the horse
Here.
back and dump off a load of stuff. And
Okay.
then, I suppose that by saying that our advisor is maybe not right on things more than half the time, it makes it sound like he's not as great a mathematician or as smart a person as he is. He is an incredibly smart person, but I don't think that it detracts at all from how brilliant he is to say that he often will leap and then look when it comes to making predictions about things. Oh, why did I keep all this brown hardened clay in my inventory while I was going to get... Trying to decide where the wood should go. I set up 2 new chests for the... So, you said that you're working on the first section of the Bible paper for our spectral sequences class?
I will have read it by Thursday.
Okay. Why can't this horse jump? There we go. So, that's what I should read by Thursday then, is the first part of the paper?
Yeah, I think it's the first 2 sections.
Okay. I forgot to bring a flint and steel. I'll go get a flint and steel. I'm surprised that torches can't light things on fire, you know?
Yeah.
You should be able to light something on fire with a torch, because it is a torch.
True, but it's probably a good thing that you don't by default, since you destroy your buildings usually, right?
Yeah, but you should be able to take a torch and, I don't know, maybe shift right click would light something on fire with it.
Hmm. Has it always been the case that you could jump and continue to do damage to a block even when you were out of reach?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a nice new feature then.
Horse is running away. Go. I'd like it if horses didn't wander quite so quickly from the spot you left them.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. And do you want to replant all these trees, or do we want to replant them somewhere else?
Let's replant them maybe in the southwest corner, because that's the
Okay.
direction we're building.
Okay.
Should we cut down this jungle tree too, or should we just leave it here for now? I don't actually have
Um.
enough of a regular axe to cut it right now.
Yeah, if you want to chop it down and get some more saplings, we are. I don't know if we have any saplings left in inventory, since that one of the trees we planted didn't give us a very good return.
Shame. This horse. It's not supposed to jump over fences without me telling it to.
Oh.
Go.
So two two or three of my students in the last couple of days have asked, oh, why did you go to New Mexico? And what they don't realize is, if they ask me a question, I feel honor bound to give them an answer because they're my students.
Mm-hmm.
So I've given two different little mini lectures on what persistent homology is and how you can use it in different fields. And it turns out one of them is actually a geologist. Like that is his field of study. So he
It's
was
cool.
particularly intrigued. And then another one is a computer programmer. So he was also curious about the programming aspect of my project.
I have not had the luxury of having research that applied to a student's field of study. Do you realize that with this Sandia project, you've just become the applied mathematician out of our office?
I know it's disgusting and it makes me sick at myself, but
It's funny because I'm the one that probably has the least qualms about, you know, doing applied math. And you're the one that is now doing applied math.
yes, rub it in.
Okay, so it is time to wrap up this episode. So I hope that all of you have enjoyed watching us cut down trees and light them on fire so that we can build the Taj Mahal. And we will see you all next time. Bye!
Bye.